guys, today we are going to discuss preservation of drugs and potentized medicines. General rules, it includes labeling and containers. Labeling must be done on required vessels while preserving drugs and containers. All substances should be prepared in neutral glass, earthenware jar or bottles and being well corked or stoppered. Exceptions: hard glass bottles with glass toppers for preserving corrosive substances like acids and alkalis. Actinic glass bottles covered outside with a solution of asphaltum or black varnish are for preserving drugs which may be affected by light or sunlight. Gutta pacha bottles for preserving fluoric acid, and blue color bottles, yellow color or amber color bottles should be avoided because blue color bottles have some dynamic effects which are injurious to drugs, and yellow colored or amber colored bottles acquire some medicinal virtue after being exposed to sunlight. Place and method of preservation. Plants and their parts should be kept in a cool, dark place because the liquid quantity of water should be sprinkled over them from time to time. Pulverized drugs should be perfectly dried before storing, otherwise their moisture content may mold. Drying is done by spreading out the pulverized drugs on water bath, or for bigger quantities in a temperature adjustable drying chamber is to be taken. Animal and animal products, as they decompose very quickly, should be used immediately after collections. If necessary, may be preserved in a refrigerator, and venoms can be preserved in deep freeze or being kept in glycerin. Coming to fresh drugs which cannot be used immediately should be kept in a refrigerator. Fresh drugs which are to be collected from distinct places should be packed loosely and carefully in ordinary cases or botanical boxes and kept cool. Drugs which need drying before transportation should be dried, tying in loose bundles and hanging in a shadeway from direct sunlight, dust, rain, insects, worms, etc. Drugs which are to be preserved for a long time are to be dried in a specially structured chamber where temperature can be adjusted, allowing hot air to flow for drying the drug substances. We must avoid strong light, direct sunlight, smoke, dust and strong odor. Coming to preservation, it can be divided for preservation of mother preparations and preservation of potentized substances. Coming to preservation of mother preparations, labeling all containers should be properly labeled in a proper pharmaceutical names, mentioning their strength and alcohol content, date of manufacturing and name of manufacturer as far as possible. While storing, the sign Q is affixed after the name of each mother tincture. Example, if we take Chelidonium majus, Chelidonium Q, the Q solution, and O is affixed for mother solutions and mother substances. Containers. Mother tinctures or solution should be bestowed in new, well-cleansed, colorless, neutral flint glass bottles in a dry, cool place. Exceptions are for hard glass bottles with glass toppers are for preserving acids and alkalis. Actinic glass bottles covered with asphaltum or black varnish for preserving tinctures and solutions which may be affected by light or sunlight. Gutta pacha bottles for fluoric acid, and glycerin in phials for preserving laxus mother tincture with venom. And avoid blue colored bottles have some dynamic effects injurious to drugs, and yellow colored or amber colored bottles acquire medicinal virtue after being exposed to sunlight or light. And we must avoid too much heat or cold. Some tinctures or solutions may become turbid, which the solution muddy sediment form or crystals. Strong light, direct smoke, dust, damp, strong odors, etc. are to be avoided. Temperature. Tinctures or solutions should be kept at even temperature of about 60 Fahrenheit, and filtration of solution should be filtered before storing. Separate arrangement. For strong smelling drugs, example asafoetida, camphor, iodine, muscus, terebinth, oleum, etc. should be kept in separately airtight, well-closed glass bottles. Coming to directions for preservation of drug mother preparations. Name of the drug, how to preserve them is clearly given in this slide. Argentinum nitricum solution is to be preserved in amber glass bottles. Causticum mother tincture, alembic glass bottles. Heparin sulf, actinic glass bottles covered outside with solution of asphaltum. Fluoric acid in gutta pacha bottle. Laxus in glycerin in seal vial. And phosphorus is to be preserved under water. It is insoluble because it's inflammable when exposed to air. In this slide, you can see a few pictures of the glass, different kinds of glass bottles used. The first is ambric glass bottle, and second is alembic, third is actinic, and fourth is gutta percha bottle. Coming to preservation of potentized medicines, labeling. Name of the potentized medicine with respective number of potency and scale should be distinctly marked both on the cork and the container's label. For example, Aconate 6X, Aconate 6, etc. Date of manufacturing, name of manufacturer should also be stated in the container. Original manufacturer should also write down the batch number and alcohol content, volume, and date of expiry as far as possible. Containers. All potentized medicine should be preserved in a well-stocked bottles which kept in boxes or drawers in a cool, dry place, protected from light. And exceptions are hard glass potash bottles with glass toppers for preserving acids and caustic preparations, actinic glass bottles covered with a layer of asphaltum or black varnish for preserving potentized medicine which may be affected by light or sunlight, gutta percha bottles for acid floor, and glycerin for preservation of lexis. And we must avoid blue color bottles because they have some dynamic effects which are injurious to potentized medicine, and yellow colored or amber colored bottles acquire some medicinal virtue after being exposed to sunlight. And we must avoid dust, odors, smoke, damp, strong light, etc. which affect the purity of the potentized medicines. Coming to separate arrangement, preparation of camphor should always be kept in a separate, otherwise they may antidote almost all the medicines of vegetable origin. And separate arrangement should be kept in potentized medicine and other odorous, non-odorous evaporating substances. Bottles should not be filled entirely as the potentized medicine shall come in contact with the corks, and reject potentized medicines immediately if they change their normal color. Note: files should be used for keeping one medicine should never be used for other medicine, nor for the same medicine in any other potency. Two files containing different potencies or remedies should never be opened at the same time in close proximity. And preservation of potencies that are laid down in monograph according to HPI, the name of the medicine and